Hi guys, I'm Jordan and this is my final project. So for my final project, I decided to transcribe 10 minutes of a podcast. The podcast I chose was Duncan Trussell's Family Hour, which is a salon-styled super show where comedian Duncan Trussell and guests explore the outer reaches of the universe. The episode I chose was with Brian Norman. He is a co-founder of Symposia, which is a media outlet for topics that include drugs and society, psychedelics and mental health, science and capitalism, technology and politics, and etc. You can find more information on the website Symposia. And for my project, I decided to focus on turn-taking, especially how elements of story preface, back-channeling, and overlap allow participants to respond and engage to each other in a conversation. I found information about story preface in Conversation Analysis by Bo and Martin, but basically in conversations, people might want more time to speak, to tell their story, or to get their point across. In order to do this successfully, the speaker must send out cues to the listener that they are going to tell a story. This can be done with word choice right before they tell the story. On this slide is an example of how the speaker Brian indicated he was going to tell a story. On line 3, he says, "So the way it went down for me," and this indicates that he has some sort of story to tell. Duncan then provides a back channel to indicate he is listening and following along. In story preface, the listener can chime in without taking over the floor, which allows for the conversation to flow with little disputes. Overlap can occur in the form of a back channel, as we saw in the previous slide, but it can also occur in the form of disagreement. The listener thought the speaker was done talking, or one of the participants felt like what they had to say was relevant to the conversation. The first overlap on line 38 is made by Duncan, who was laughing at Brian's statement, almost indicating that what he said was obscure. Another overlap I have shows disagreement on line 41, where Duncan is making a repair to Brian's statement. In conclusion, I found that lengthy responses occurred with storytelling or getting your point across. How this applies to turn-taking is that participants need to be aware of the linguistic cues in order for the conversation to flow with little interruption or dispute. Interactions of the listener can include back channels, assessment upgrades, or even interruption if there is disagreement.